Hello and welcome back to On the Spectrum with Matt Asner. I'm Matt Asner. I bet you couldn't guess that. And today we have an incredible guest. Actually, one of the people I think I've been most impressed with in the autism world was a young woman by the name of Dani Bowman, is a young woman by the name of Dani Bowman. I met her probably right during my second walk, so probably 8 or 9 years ago, I think. And she was probably about 10 years old, I think, when I met her, and she was an author already, and I was so impressed with her. And she gave me a book for my son, Will, and she's all grown up now, and she's an incredible young woman. She's an incredible autism advocate, and a great voice in our community. And ladies and gentlemen, I present Dani Bowman.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
And also joining us is my beautiful wife, Nava Asner. Nava Paskowitz Asner.
Thank you.
And
Great to be here.
welcome to the show.
Thank you. I think Dani was more like 16 though when you first met.
No.
I was more like 15 years old when he
14,
met me.
I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Yes.
She just turned 21.
When did you write the
So it
book that
wasn't 10 years
you
ago.
gave me?
It was when I was 14 years old. I wrote Dani and Goliath. I
Okay.
did not write it. I mean, illustrate it and publish it because it's written by John Benjamin Martin, Joey Travolta, and Richard Wilch.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You may know Joey.
I do know Joey.
Yeah.
I do know Joey. Good friend. So you're an accomplished person. You're an author, you're an animator, you're a filmmaker. So tell us a little bit about what goes on.
What goes on with
Dani
my
Bowman.
own animation company?
Yeah, you have your own animation company.
Yeah, it's called.
So you're an entrepreneur.
That's right. I am.
Businesswoman.
That's right, a businesswoman. Of course, I couldn't
Strong
really have to
business.
say something, right?
So tell me about your company.
So my company, Danimation Entertainment, is about animation, illustration, public speaking, autism advocacy, teaching animation to young adults on the autism spectrum, and fine and visual arts. It's a great company that I did, which means I have illustrated and published 5 books and premiered 6 award animating shorts at San Diego Comic-Con. Well, 5 of them actually, and for real. The 6th one is going to be premiered at Comic-Con.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So at Comic-Con this year?
Yeah,
And so you've had films premiere at Comic-Con before, right?
that's right.
So tell me what that experience was like, because I'm a bit of a geek. Okay,
Comic-Con
I've
is
been
fun.
to my share of comic book conventions, and I know what it's like, and it's become this kind of crazy world of creativity and hype. So, how does a young woman who has her own animation company, who has autism, how does she go to San Diego Comic-Con and deal with all the craziness? It's crazy.
In order to deal with all that craziness, when I first went to Comic-Con while premiering Mr. Raindrop and the Mazu at San Diego Comic-Con, they premiered simultaneously. When I first went to Comic-Con, I was like very extravagant. I was like, whoa, that was really huge or something in the moment like this when I went to Comic-Con. It's much bigger than other conventions that I've been to, like WonderCon, where Mr. Raindrop was first premiered in Anaheim, and Anime Expo.
And that's
Those are
still
big too, yeah.
that's still a big convention. I mean, a lot of people go to WonderCon. It's well known. It's busy, but San Diego Comic-Con is the
Overwhelming.
Very
Very
overwhelming,
that's it.
especially with the most expensive tickets that get sold out so quick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're an animation fan, obviously,
Yes.
and I would imagine most of that's anime. You like anime, right?
Anime is my biggest influences, but I also take influences from other Western animation. Typically, I like cartoons that are inspired by children's animation. That is something like Bobby's World and Magic School Bus, but I mainly focus on 7-year-olds and up for the animation. But it's just mainly children's animation.
Right. And so, what kind of anime were you into?
All kinds of anime that I'm into is mostly Pokemon and other
Oh yeah, I love Pokemon.
video game adapted animes. Like there's Kirby Right Back at You, there's Sonic X, there's I was also into some of the other animes that are pretty much higher in the excuse me, it's hard for me to explain my thoughts correctly, right?
No worries. We're friends.
Did you ever see some of the Japanese, who made Totoro and Ponyo?
It's Hayao Miyazaki.
That's my favorite of all time.
Hayao
He did-
Miyazaki of Studio Ghibli.
We are obsessed with that in our house. Eddie knows every word to Ponyo, and
Now Miyazaki, did he do Spirited Away?
Yeah.
Yes, he did. It
And
was
Totoro.
It was one of the 2D animated films that won the Academy Award for
Right.
Best
Right.
Animated Feature.
Right. So he's your favorite?
One of my favorites, indeed.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
It's interesting. The first anime I ever saw was, there was a couple of them, but one of them was Vampire Hunter D. Do you know that one?
Vampire Hunter D? Never really heard of it, but I've
Okay,
heard of
well, there you go.
Vampire Princess.
And
Yeah.
Akira.
Yeah, I've heard of Akira.
And then there was one I was, one of the earliest ones that I remember was I was working on a film called Hiroshima.
Hiroshima?
Yeah. And there's an anime called Barefoot Gen, I believe.
I never really heard of Barefoot Gen,
Yeah.
but I never heard of this. And my first anime that I just saw was Little Nemo, Adventures in Slumberland, which is
Oh, sure.
inspired by
That's
Winsor McKay's Little Nemo.
Amazing. I remember reading the graphic novels when I was into comic books. Incredible. Little
Yeah,
Nemo.
this
Little
is
Nemo
so
and
great.
Slumberland, right? So, okay. So you're working on a new project with Spectrum Laboratories.
It is called Chloe and Orphan Story. It's a story that focuses on the 3 orphan girls who is named Chloe, Spencer, and Abby.
Awesome.
And all through singing they got their own singing voice, and they're trying to learn their ability to go through the power of friendship while trying to overcome this big and scary world out there. It's in other words, it's a universal tale of how our friendships get us through the most difficult times.
Wonderful.
And that's very true.
Yeah.
And so who are your collaborators on this?
My collaborators on this, I'm hiring 5 individuals with autism, including some of the people from Autism-live, like Jake Fazio. There's also Jake Tashin, who is my friend of mine, who's going to be one of my students. Plus, we have the lead animator, whose name is Lauren, who is going to do the lead animation, and she does the character designs for Chloe and Orphan Story, which is really cool.
Well, now I've seen I guess sample animation from this.
Yes, you have
On
seen the
Facebook.
trailer of Chloe
Right.
and Orphan Story since I sent you the link, right?
Right.
Exactly, and I got to tell you, it's really it's got this cool original feel to it, and it's really neat. So, can you talk a little bit about the look, because the look is interesting. It's not kind of what you would normally see in an animated piece. There's got a little bit of an edge to it, and so let's talk a little bit about what the inspiration is stylistically, and what you're trying to do with the piece.
The style is kind of like the 2D animated Tim Burton style, which means it's like all black and white. You have seen the movie Frankenweenie, right?
Right.
It's pretty much like very Tim Burton cartoon influences.
Coraline, like that kind of thing. Yeah. And so that's kind of it's 2D though,
Yes.
so it's not 3D.
It's
And-
not CG animated, in other words,
Is it-
just to avoid the confusion of the 3D.
And is it
Like Beetlejuice, it kind of reminded me the
Little bit.
color of.
little bit, yeah. And it's drawing. You're drawing it.
Yes, I will be doing the drawing, but also teaching animation, like I mentioned in the beginning, about 5 animators who will be doing it. The others of the A team is we have Jason, who is the director and the creator of Chloe and Orphan Story. We have Garth, who is the music director, and Bob DeMarco, who is the music supervisor. And
Bob's a great
the
guy.
Spec
Yeah,
Lab guy.
great.
Spec Lab.
Spec Lab.
Spectrum Laboratories is making
And
this.
Jason.
Yes.
Yeah. So and so that's great. That's wonderful.
Yeah, thanks.
And we're going to show your trailer right now. We're going to take a look at the trailer, and we're going to give them a link to the website
Which
of
is-
where they can.
Yeah, which is the
Help you make
Indiegogo
this.
campaign.
So explain what you're doing with the Indiegogo stuff before we show the trailer.
Okay, in this Indiegogo campaign, we are raising money to help individuals with autism. We're working this animated film as the professional artists. We're trying to get them to film festivals and other stuff. We also have a budget that we're working on to get like millions of dollars. I don't know, thousands of dollars or something. But
Well, if you
I'll
get
show
it,
you.
with
I'll
these
probably-
Indiegogo things,
yeah.
you never know. I mean, if you get enough word out there, you could actually
Start
make
high.
$1 million.
Aspire for the big thing.
I mean, your goal, that's the great thing. Your goal could be $30,000, and you can end up raising like 5
million,
times
yeah.
that or something like that, right?
Yes. Well, the
So-
biggest production budget right now is production budget according to the pie charts for the Indiegogo website is the animation and the music side.
Well, okay, so this is Chloe and Orphan's story. It's a trailer for the movie that Dani Bowman's working on with Spectrum Laboratories. Take a look at this and donate. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Chloe, and you're the trailer. La mer qu'on voit danser le long des golfes clairs a des reflets d'argent. La mer des reflets changeants sous la pluie. La mer au ciel d'été, qu'au fond ces blonds moutons, avec les anges si purs. La mer, bergère d'azur infinie. Quand il me prend dans ses bras, il me parle tout bas, je vois la vie en rose. Il me dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours, et ça me fait quelque chose. Alors je sens en moi mon cœur qui bat.
Thanks for watching and supporting
Artists with autism. Merci beaucoup.
Well, how cool is that? That's really cool. Dani, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's really great.
That's amazing. So wait, you're the animation director for this project,
That is
right?
absolutely true, right? And I've also mentioned about the A-team earlier from this interview.
That's so cool. So, well, let's make this happen for them, okay? So, if you go to speclabs.org, and you can get to the donation page from there, or I guess you could go to Indiegogo and search for Chloe and Orphan Story and find it there. But let's make this happen, and let's give them a good budget to work with, because I think that's incredible. I think this is really going to be an incredible project.
Incredible project indeed, and hopefully we'll get them to film festivals, especially at the biggest ones ever.
Right on.
High five!
Yeah.
So awesome.
High five this.
I think that's awesome. So, okay. So now I want to talk about something else. So we're going to shift gears a little bit, okay? So like I said, when I saw you for the first time, you were 14 years old, and you had so much energy and very creative, and you've grown into this incredible young woman. And I've said that on Facebook before. You've grown into this incredible young woman who's a great autism advocate. Okay?
That is absolutely true.
Yeah, and I think the greatest thing about you is, and I'm not going to get into anything negative here, but the greatest thing about you is that you're so incredibly balanced. You have friends that feel differently about certain things, and I see you as a great unifier, as a person
Diplomat.
a diplomat.
A great diplomat who just balances between the parts of the positive and the negative side, I think.
Exactly, and you don't
Yeah.
you don't really want to focus on the negative. You want to
No.
focus on the positive.
That's what I was doing right now. Since there's too much negativity into the autism community.
I agree.
Best,
I agree.
The best thing to talk about in the autism community: stay positive.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. So how do you stay positive, though? I mean, what's your trick? How do you stay positive in situations that are
Hard,
maybe escalating and hard? I mean, and let's like Facebook. It gets difficult on Facebook sometimes, I'm sure, for you. So how do you stay positive? How do you steer away from the negative and stay positive?
In order to steer away from the negative, there's one very simple task. Either you say something nice or don't say anything at all. And
That's
sometimes
perfect.
Sometimes I avoid very negative conversations about the autism community, right?
Yes. Well, and I honestly believe that the future of the autism community lays in positivity and in acceptance and in inclusion. And I think you're doing an incredible job at really kind of motivating people to think about that. Because the great thing, I think one of the great things about you is that you are such a visual person. And I think people think visually. And I think you're giving them a huge treat because you do incredible work. And I think you have a voice and you also have vision. And I think that's a great thing. And I'm proud of you.
Oh, I thank you so much,
I think
Matt.
you've grown into an incredible person, and it's amazing to me because I have seen you grow up, and it's great. It's great. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
We're hopefully all flattered about it.
And she's gorgeous.
And she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's turned into a gorgeous woman. From a gorgeous young girl to a gorgeous woman. So you brought me some incredible tickets.
That is great, and these tickets are bought from it's from the Festival of Human Abilities back in January.
Okay.
Like
And
the end of January.
And these are for the Aquarium of the Pacific, and we're going to give these tickets away. And so, what should we do here? Should we say anyone who goes on the spectrum? The first, how many? We're going to give pairs of tickets away. So 1, 2, 3, 4. First 5 people to say, "Give me the tickets" on the spectrum page, will get these tickets. Complimentary passes to Aquarium of the
I
Pacific.
love the aquarium.
And it's valid from 1/29/2016 to 7/31/2016. So if you're not going to go before July 31st, don't do it. If you plan on going before July 31st, bring it on. Just say, "Give me the tickets," and they're yours. So thank you for these. That's
Oh,
great.
no problem.
Little giveaway for On the Spectrum.
It's considered to be the biggest bonus ever for this show.
I think so. I think so. So
That's great.
So you're really into movies and stuff like that, right?
That is
And
absolutely
television?
true.
You watch a lot of television?
Well, I don't really watch television or movies that much, but I do. What I do is I am one of the members from the CFA Hollywood, and I typically like to watch feature animated films that I study. It's not just about enjoying the entertainment. You're just really it's all about studying the story plots and studying what's the biggest message, especially if you're trying to aim for the Academy Awards. Let me just rephrase that for a second. When you're trying to predict which one is going to win for Best Animated Feature.
Right.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So do you know? Did you know all of the animated features and shorts that were in the animated program this year?
Animated program this year? Well, I wonder
Inside
what
Out.
you mean.
Inside Out.
For the Oscars.
Yeah, Inside Out won the Oscars for Best Animated Feature, which turns out to be really great. The main message is that it's what makes the winner for Academy Award is the character designs, and best of all, it's the story plot that drews us. The biggest message is that going through puberty, when going through puberty, it's about teenagers, which is the main subject. And the interesting thing about Inside Out, unlike any different types of Disney Pixar films, there is no actual antagonist character.
Well, she's kind of her own antagonist, isn't
Yeah.
she?
Yeah, for Riley.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting point. I never really thought of that. Now, are you a Disney fan? Are you like a fan of the old Disney films and like Snow White? And
I
Sleeping
was used to when I was a little kid, but I'm pretty much more diverse with other types of animations from animation studios. I'm mostly into the anime stuff, but I like other stuff and lots of animation stuff. In other words, generally an animation fan.
So who right now, other than yourself, who right now should we be looking at in the animation world and saying that's the person that's coming up? That person.
Oh,
is
I wonder if
the next
Dani
person.
knows Thurup, my friend Thurup Von Orman. He does Flapjack. He did Adventure Time.
Oh,
He does.
Adventure
He's
Time.
a very good friend of mine.
Well, Adventure Time is one of the greatest Cartoon Network shows going on. Especially, I know the creator of Adventure Time. I forgot his name, but he also did Lumpy Space Princess.
That's Thurup.
Yeah, him.
Thurup Von Orman. He's a surfer and he's a very cool. Maybe we could have him I should connect him with Dani.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely.
Definitely. Well, Dani, I thank you for being on the show.